Well, good morning, everyone. Back on, and good to be with you this morning. Back from our holidays and ready to go. So let's hear from a few folks here. Hi, Suzanne. You are first one up this morning that I can see, at least. And good morning to you, Carol. Carolyn. Good morning, Brahim. My friend from Portland, Oregon. Good morning. Mike from Norland. Nice to have you guys. Janet and Carrie from Nebraska. Good morning. Nick, how are you? From our staff. Yvonne. Hello. Nativity. Good morning. And John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Good morning. Kathy, nice to have you on. Annette from New Brunswick. Good morning. Irene. Oh, I want to sing, Irene. Wendy from Markup. Wanda. Good morning. And Ashler. Fran. Right in our backyard. Val Karen. Adeline. Mary. Good morning. Jerry, our friend. Jerry sent me a little study this morning. Our little news clip. Gertie, Renee, good morning. Sharon from Manitoba. Morden, Manitoba. Yolande, bonjour. Sandra, Rita. Surrey, British Columbia, bright and early. Diane, Thunder Bay. Lori, good morning. And Wanda's from Virginia, beautiful. Deb from Timmins, good morning. Andrea, Nouveau Brunswick. André, bonjour. Catherine. Sandra from Aurelia. Lorna. Fran from Orangeville. Good morning, Fran. And Monette from Sweden. Well, good morning. Well, it's probably good afternoon or whatever. Helen, good morning. Lorraine, British Columbia. Another one, Brenda from Campbell River, British Columbia. Peggy. Sharon. Yeah, you know what? I did have fun. Had a good holiday. Cindy and Nancy and Natalia. Vera. Okay, a couple of more. And Vera's from Newfoundland. Ken. Jean from Calgary. Donna, good morning. Bell Valley, Ontario. Anne. Okay, we got a good crowd on. Christine Taranta. And Jeanette from our staff. I'm glad you guys say hello to us, and we appreciate that. Janice and Jenny from Tirana. Diane and Donna. Okay, two more, and let's get going. Kathy, we got a real significant story this morning. Kevin from Florida. And Ramona from California. John and Lynn. Okay, guys, this is very significant. You know, I actually wrote about it in our book, The Metabolic Reset, that studies that confirmed in North America. And you know what the figure was. 88% of the population had some form of metabolic syndrome. Okay, so that came out, I think it was I'm going to say about 2018. It was shocking. Well, it didn't shock me so much, but it was shocking when you think of it overall. 88% of the population, that means only 12% are on the narrow road that leads to good health. Because if you got any form of metabolic syndrome, you're in deep doo-doo. Why? Because the metabolic syndrome is at the key to heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and autoimmune. The 5 main killers in our society today all come from metabolic syndrome. High blood pressure, belly fat, high triglycerides, low HDL. I like to add elevated uric acid levels. These are all signs of metabolic syndrome. This is why when I ask you, or if you want, voluntarily send me your blood work. Those are the things I'm looking for. I want to know if you have metabolic syndrome. Now, you can't, impossible to get metabolic syndrome without having insulin resistance. It's at the root of all of it. High circulating insulin. Guys, that is so key. If you get that, you're 99, you're in the 1% of people that look at food being responsible for our health. Medicine, big pharma, and big food don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know it. But you guys know it. Insulin is a food problem. You never have to worry about insulin if you're eating the right things. You never have to. Insulin resistance. Now, did you think that was the headline today? It's not. Here's the headline. New research coming out of Tufts University. Here's the headline. It's worse than we thought. What? It's worse than we thought, because we were at 88%, right? 88%. That means only 12% of the population are really healthy metabolically. But it's worse than we thought. 2022. Brand new statistics coming out of Tufts University. Let me quote. Okay? Because here's what they said. And they said it. I'm only repeating what they said. It's worse than we thought. Only 7% of the population are metabolically healthy. Only 7%. It's crazy. And you know what that means? 14 out of 15 people have poor baseline health. 93%. 93%. It's crazy. It's worse than we thought. I can't be optimistic about the future of our society when you see statistics like this. And I know it's repetition. But we're not getting the memo. And look, guys, I don't want to be political, but sometimes you just got to say what the truth is. I know we're so focused. We're so focused on the climate that we're missing the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. What will cost our society? What will kill people with these chronic diseases is not the climate. It's food. It's insulin resistance. It's insulin resistance. It's when your body says enough is enough. And if you don't stop, you're on a broad road that leads to destruction. At the end, is cancer, cardiovascular disease. At the end of the road is Alzheimer's. Remember, guys, Alzheimer's. Look, there's other factors, small percentage factors. The environment, I get all that. You know, we live in a polluted world, for sure. And you know, I was reading, let me, I think I have it here. Let me just make a comment on it because I don't want to forget something that came out the other day. And it was 80%. Okay, where did I get this here? 80%, here it is. 80% of the population, 80% of the population have Roundup. In their urine. 80% of the population in North America, when they do a urine sample, they found Roundup. Are you kidding me? That is a pesticide? And 80% of them, we pee it. It's in our urine. So we already know that the environment is affecting our health, but it's still, guys, you can't even get away from it, even if you try. I mean, where are you going to go with Elon Musk? To the moon? You know, yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of all this stuff, but we probably won't. And that's a topic for another day. How to protect ourselves. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell you how to protect yourselves from Roundup and any other chemical and xenoestrogens. I'm going to show you how to block it. I'm going to show you what to do to give yourself every chance so that the environment of these plastics and Roundup and all these other herbicides and pesticides and all these things, guys, good luck. That was the moral of that story, 80%. It's in our urine, for heaven's sakes. The only way it gets in your urine is if it's in your tissue. But guys, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to this 93%. It's not 88, it's 93. So between I think it was 2018 and 2022, we've gone downhill. Metabolic syndrome didn't get better, it got worse. It's worse now in 2022 than in 2018. No improvement. It went downhill. And guys, that is a frightening statistic. Because all the tea in China is not going to pay for the future of our healthcare system. First of all, we don't even have a healthcare system. We have a disease care system. And all the tea in China is not going to pay for it. You know what? It's disaster. It's already a disaster. Our hospitals are full. Cancer treatment. You know, unfortunately, medicine has focused in on treatment of cancer. I'm not against that. I'm not against it. You decide what you want to do if you get cancer. What I'm trying to teach you is how to prevent it. How to prevent it. I doc, I've got, stage 4 cancer. Well, do everything you can. I'm going to give you some protocols, things that I developed over the years. But can I tell you honestly, I wish you'd have never got that. And look, I'm not telling you there are any guarantees in this life as far as your health. You're not guaranteed to be healthy. Well, you might be healthy as a horse and walk across the street and get hit by a bus. I mean, you can't control everything in life. I just talked to you about the environment. If you live on planet Earth, you're going to be exposed to chemicals. You're going to be exposed to pesticides and herbicides, and it's everywhere. It's in the food chain. It's everywhere. You don't live in a perfect world, but this program is all about, let's put everything on our side. Let's get out of the 93%. Let's get on to the 7% of healthy people, metabolically. And actually, guys, there's a way to measure it. There's a way to measure it. If you look at your blood work, and the one I forgot earlier is A1C. That's the one I like. That is measuring your glycated hemoglobin. That's what it means. What's that mean? Well, you know what sugar does? Sugar attaches itself to the middle of your red blood cells, where your hemoglobin is. Okay? Every time you breathe, your red blood cells, okay? Breathe with me. Did you breathe? Okay. You know what just happened? Your red blood cells were going through your lungs, and the middle part of your red blood cell is called hemoglobin. You know what hemoglobin does? It's like Velcro. It sticks to oxygen. Can't live without oxygen. Can you? You can't live without oxygen. So your red blood cells, every time you breathe, goes by your lungs, picks up oxygen, it sticks to the hemoglobin. Okay? You got that? That's what your lungs do. That's what red blood cells do. But do you know what A1C is? When you eat sugar, you know what sugar does? Insulin tries to get rid of all of it. But you know what it does? It attaches to red blood cells, just like oxygen does. It stays in your blood, and you can measure it. It's called A1C. I like that better than your glucose levels. If you send me your glucose levels, I'll look at it. But I'm more interested when it comes to metabolic syndrome to understand your A1C. Because if your A1C is over 5.4 or over, you're in doo-doo. You're in trouble. Now, your doctor might tell you, oh, that's normal. Nay, it's not really. Because A1C over that number, even try and get it lower than that, is a sign that you've developed insulin resistance. And insulin resistance, my friend, is at the root of metabolic syndrome. And 93% of the population have metabolic syndrome. They're on, you know how my expression, I like to say it, they're on the Titanic. They're on the Titanic. Some of them have already hit the iceberg, and some of them are going to hit the iceberg. I know I simplify things, but my friends, it's the truth. It's food. We're carboholics. And here we are. Here we are in a very advanced society in 2022. Advanced. Look at the technology. Look at everything that goes. Look around the world. Holy moly. Can't get over technology. I'm an old goat. You know what I mean? I can hardly understand what's going on. And here I am doing podcasts. If you'd have told me 20 years ago or less, 10 years ago, that I wouldn't be doing my radio show anymore, that I would hit all around the world, which you couldn't do by radio, but you can do by podcast, I would have said, you're crazy. That ain't going to happen. But folks, with all the advancements in technology, the world is backwards when it comes to food. It's backwards. There was an agenda. It started when I was a little wee boy. That fat made you fat and cholesterol was bad for you. It was an agenda. It was nonsense. It was never true. And guess what has happened today? We have been on a failed experiment, a human experiment. And you know what? Sometimes you do an experiment and it's failing, you stop. Stop. But we've been for over a half a century, we have been on a failed experiment in food. We got the food pyramid upside down. People today, they rail against meat. They rail against eggs. They rail against dairy. And they tell you it's no good. It's no good for the environment. It's no good for you. It makes you fat. It gives you cholesterol. It's going to hurt your heart. Red meat causes cancer. And yeah, yada, yada, yada. It's all a propaganda nonsense. There's not an ounce of science to it. When someone says follow the science, they're usually saying follow the money. That's what they're really saying. And guys, I know I get excited. I know I'm a loudmouth. I know all that. Hasn't been the first time I've been told that. But unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable that our society, because we have believed the lie, that the world is on a collision course. Well, it's already hit the Titanic. It's already hit the iceberg. It's crazy. And guys, this is one of the most frightening statistics that you will ever read. It's absolutely incredible. And the solution is right before us. Like I said, you can't control everything in life. But you can sure control what you put in your mouth every day. You sure can control your food choices. I didn't say that was easy, by the way. See, our world operates on marketing. What do? They market. You just got to understand, I've told you this many a times. If you go in behind the scenes, go behind the scenes. I try and bring you there. You got Big Pharma. You think they're not powerful people? They're more than powerful. They have 4 lobbyists for every senator and congressman in Washington. 4 of them for every one. They lobby. And because I've talked to politicians. I have over the years. And they said, well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Well, I think, before you make big decisions, maybe you should educate yourself. I know you're a lay person. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out when someone's lying to you. Just don't accept everything that people say. I don't even want you to accept everything that I say. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be a Berean. You know what it means to be a Berean? Do you know what that is? Well, the Apostle Paul said it. He said, I appreciated the people in Berea because they didn't take my word for it, what I was saying. They looked it up to make sure I was following the Bible. And the New Testament hadn't been written yet. But that's what it means to be a Berean. I want you guys to be a Berean. Don't take everything at face value because the world's into marketing. And they're fantastic at it. Bill Gates is not a scientist. But he has an agenda. I'm not even saying he's a bad man. I'm not saying that. I don't know what his motives are. He probably thinks he's right. He's going to save the world by eliminating a lot of people. He's going to save the planet. And some of us have to go, I guess. Because he's going to feed us crickets. Oh. Now, is that true, a statement or not? He's buying up all the farmland, apparently. See, they want you to no longer eat meat. I don't, folks, you got a gallbladder for a reason. You're meant to eat meat. That's why God gave you a gallbladder. It's as simple as that. A cow doesn't have a gallbladder because a cow doesn't eat meat. The cow eats grass, okay? The cow eats grass so that you can eat meat. It's as simple as that. Rabbits don't have a gallbladder and they live on salad. But the world today, see, it's part of the agenda. Don't eat meat. Don't eat eggs. Don't, have a few, but not many. And certainly don't have any dairy. Don't eat cheese. Cheese is fattening. Cheese has got calories. Cheese has got cholesterol. Yeah, well, the only place to get cholesterol is from the animal kingdom. You can't get cholesterol from plants. You need cholesterol. Right? They told you, avoid the sun. They told you, avoid cholesterol. They told you to avoid salt. Right? They used to tell you to avoid coffee. Coffee's bad for you. Oh, there's a new study on coffee. I'll bring it out maybe tomorrow. Folks, I'm telling you, I just can't believe, or I shouldn't say it. Let me rephrase it. I can believe it, these terrible statistics, but I wish it weren't so. I wish it wasn't true. And people are walking around with blinders on because they don't know how to eat. They've been lied to. Oh, and Doc, everything in moderation, Doc. Everything in moderation. Ooh, that gives me a splitting headache. Anywho, okay. Okay. I'm breathing again. Okay. Okay, guys, so tomorrow, is it going to be question and answer Friday? I don't know, because we did question and answer Monday. Did we? Yeah, we did Monday. And then I was off for a few days, Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll see. If I don't have enough questions, I got a lot of studies that have come out that I want to talk about. So we'll see. Anyways, okay, little housekeeping. I haven't talked about this for a bit. Do you get our emails? Okay, if you don't, go to themartinclinic.com, get our emails, join the almost 100,000 people that get our emails. 100,000. They're very educational. Okay, that's one. So if you're not getting them, you sign up martinclinic.com. Okay. Now, for those of your friends and family or whatever that can't watch the live Facebook, get them to download the Doctor Is In podcast on their favorite device. Now, don't ask me exactly how to do it. No, I know how to do it. I do. I know how to download the Martin. If you have, you go on podcasts, okay? On your smart device, just put in the Doctor Is In, and then just click on it, and you can download it, and then you can get it. You get all the new ones when they come out. Okay, don't ask me any more detail than that, because I'm a dinosaur. Okay. Okay, guys. So, have I told you lately that I love you? I haven't? Well, I do. Okay. So we'll see you soon.